There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Go, go. Ba-da-da, 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 ba-ba. We're live. We live. We live. We live. We live. 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 Welcome, Farfella. Welcome to the stream. Let's see if anyone can guess what the tune that I just typed that to. And no cheating by listening back to the stream. Gosh, just swinging all around. All right. Oh gosh. So this is gonna be a grand old time. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, any of the break from the classwork. Welcome, Karma. I know, schooling just it's the worst. Maybe eventually I'll get into it, but nah. I mean, I can't be a pest pony forever. I mean, I could. My brother makes good money at it. But no, I can't keep going into crawl spaces. Also, I have things that are going to be releasing in the next week or so. You'll know it when you see it. And I hope I can keep up on this new schedule. So I think we're going to be going from like a weekly stream to maybe a bi-weekly stream. You hear plate? Yes, you do hear. It's a bowl. I made some quick biscuits and gravy, and then the biscuits took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to take. Nearing the end of the second semester, so all the homework lessons are starting to pile up. Who needs to do homework? It's going to be bi-weekly, but not that bi-weekly? Yes. God, why is English like this? It didn't need to. We decided. So, C's get degrees, Karma. C's get degrees. That's the thing about homework. I don't like it based on a sole principle. What's the point of homework if you already understand the concept? Like, if you understand the concept, you shouldn't need to do extra homework because homework should only be for those who need a little bit more help understanding the concept that you learned that day. That's what one of my favorite math teachers did back in high school. Was she never graded the homework. She only graded us based on she only graded us on basically tests. And so every day when we would walk in, we would have a 5-question quiz, like that was worth 10 points, and it was a homework check. You would do it we would do it every single morning. So, and it, because she just wanted to test whether or not we understood the concept, not whether, and not what, when we did the homework. It's great. But yeah, when the homework is being graded for as part of the last course, that's awful. Also, if you're assigning homework and expect it to be done, you're just kind of incentivizing people to work to have a terrible work-life balance by having them incentivized to work on projects outside of their contractual working hours. And that just leads to burnout. You're lowering the value of your pay, all this all this sorts of things. It's incentivized by homework. Homework is evil. Evil. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But yeah, so this is only going to be, yeah, evil, 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 evil. So I'm going to show you a peek behind the curtain real quick, because I want to show you something, and this is only for y'all who are here right now. Don't go telling anyone else. It's a secret, just between the four of us, three of us that are in the call right now. Okay, I'm going to show you a secret. I believe it's. Ooh. So, the secret. We have the next two chapters all ready, and they're going to be released next Saturday and 2 Saturdays after that. This is only for your eyes only. Shh. Don't go tell anyone, or else they'll expect me to constantly do this. And we both know I can't live up to that expectation. Yep, but it's necessary because we have a lot to learn and it's really about what you put into it. True. Purpose of our work is to help with mental muscle memory. Like I said, it's one of those things where I agree, like I can understand why it's there, but I hate that it is required for everyone to do it when at the end of the day uh, it's just basically, hey, do you know this concept that we learned? Oh, you do? Well, screw you. No, someone else didn't get it, so we're going to make you work another hour after you're already working for 8 hours to do this other thing, to learn these concepts. We're going to make you do an hour plus at the end of your day just to make sure you're extra burnt out and make sure that you already understand this concept that you already know. So, like, at a certain point, it's not really reliable, and especially once you get into the field, you're going to forget everything that you learned, and you're going to have to relearn it on the field in concert anyway. And like, yeah, you'll remember certain things from your time in schooling, but all that really matters is that you know how to do the work, which you already do by going to the classwork and whatnot. But then you're not going to use half the concepts. This is why I've never liked schoolwork at all. But if you don't do it right, it's just unpaid labor. True. You were weak and couldn't do it live. No, I could do it live. Both of those chapters were recorded live. Uh, those were recorded like months ago. I just finally edited them. I'm not going to edit on stream. That's way too boring. Again, unless you ace all your. That's the thing, is that yet they say it's not required to do the homework, but then they're still grading the homework. Like that's the disconnect I don't like. Is that uh, if you want to truly make homework not required, don't grade it, and then the people that go out of their way to learn the concept, make sure that they learn it, they're going to do well. The people that like don't want to be here at all, because if they don't want to be here at all, they're showing that by not learning the coursework, then like you're punishing everyone for the few who do not get it. Homework good for people who take their time and check their work. Test good for people who perform under pressure. A personal trainer needs to learn all the different structures in the bones, and you don't use it all. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, like I was always great at test taking, but I also never did homework. And the reason why I didn't do homework was not because I didn't want to check my work. It's because outside of that academic environment, I my ADHD brain did not want to do things that was related to that academic environment. At work, I'm expected to learn work things, and if I'm required to do things outside of that work thing, I am less likely to learn that work thing. It's yeah, not all people are good at the same things. But like if they're good at homework but they're not good at tests, they're still going to fail the class. Like they might know their shit, but they're not going to pass it if they fail all their tests, if tests are worth like 70% of the grade. So like that's just what I'm getting at. Like honestly, the whole school system needs to just kind of be redone. I don't know how it should be redone. I'm not an educator, but definitely some things about it need to be changed because everyone learns at different rates and processes the information differently and da 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 da. But we're all upheld to this standardization, and it doesn't work for everyone. There's so many people that don't even have college degrees, not because they couldn't get one, but because they felt like it was a waste of their time. I'm honestly in one of those categories. I feel like it's kind of a waste of my time. I might look into it in the future, but for right now, it feels like a waste of my time because, like, I'm going to be paying a lot of money to do classes that aren't related to my goal, to then possibly maybe get a job that I'm getting paid the same wage as that I am right now. Yes, there's lots of room to grow up from that, but that's not a lot of incentive to be like, oh yeah, in 30 years you'll make bank. Like sometimes that's an incentive enough. For me, I am content with what I make currently. The only test I sucked on was English. Yeah, the gosh, tests were the only reason I passed English class because I couldn't write an essay to save my life, but I could memorize spelling and vocabulary words because I'm a book nerd. So, so in the end, it all worked out. Ooh. Oh man, we have a new person. Welcome to the Mad house. There we go. Perfect. I failed my last year of college because there was too much coursework and subjects to be learned and too little time to do it. Yeah, there's just not that much time in the day. And especially if you're doing coursework while having a job, you're just kind of screwed at that point. But uh, but probably let's get away from the negativity of this because gosh, that's a downer way to. It's a downer, but it's kind of like one of those things that just needs to be talked about more at the same time. And like I said, I'm probably going to go back to I'm probably going to go to college at some point, but not for like another couple of years. Especially when you don't know what you want to do, but if you want to explore your options, it's going to cost you boatloads of money. It it's going to I got it's just something you got to take one step at a time. Don't rush it like a lot of people do and then regret their diplomas. Any hoozles. So yeah, now that we got that sneakiest peek at what's down the pipeline for y'all, mwahaha. And no, I didn't cheat because I always edit off stream. So don't you give me that. But I found a new editing process that makes it so I don't want to rip my hair out and murderize someone. So that's why I did to do 2 chapters yesterday. So hopefully we're going to be able to do it even more in the upcoming weeks. And I still have quite a bit of backlog. Well, quite a bit. I have I have 3 chapter backlogs currently. So I guess I might as well start. Well, is it legal to edit off stream? Well, yes, because I made these rule sets. I made the rules that we all have to follow. And from the beginning, editing was always done off stream. You can look through my entire backlog uh, of streams, and never once was I editing directly on stream. Precisely because it is boring as hell, and I don't want to subject any of y'all to it. You don't recognize my authority? Well, if you don't recognize it, I'm the one that put in the rule of distract me and make me not finish the chapter. It's all been me. This is a clever ploy. The entire time, you're all you're all marionettes on strings. I've been playing the whole chat for years. This is my grand villain reveal. He plays like a fiddle. Exactly. Exactly. I am very much proud of my work that we have accomplished. And now that we're so close to finishing, I can all tell you the grand secret. Congratulations. You've been keeping motivated this entire goddamn time. So, Karma, the thing with that Idol spinoff, I would love to do it. I'm just not sure what the structure would be for it. And because the structure for everything is kind of already played out. Not played out, established. So I'm not sure how to do that establishing shot. You proposed it like a radio host. Simple, hype it up and then cancel and blame it on them for not being mature enough to handle it. This feels like Gardlings all over again. Which reminds me, I do need to eventually read through the rest of Respite. I mean, narrate the rest of Respite. I have 2 chapters on my channel, and they all have great comments on it, being like, oh, I can't wait for you to continue this. This is so lovely. And I haven't posted anything in 6 years. Man, the time does fly by. But yeah, I would definitely love to do some idly singing the Christmas, the holiday season away. I just have to figure out what songs to use. I guess I could do Sleigh Ride. I don't think I've done Sleigh Ride yet. Just write a spin-off fic and publish it. Karma. I can barely edit and record these things. This current audiobook. What makes you think I could actually write anything? Voice to chat. Yeah, but where's my but where's my words going to come from? I don't have I don't have words. but Sleigh Ride could. Actually, I don't think Sleigh Ride has any of the disqualifiers in it. Yay! Although, I'd have to figure out who to name Parson Brown. Parcel Brown. That's the new name. Is oh wait, or am I saying, or is Parson Brown part of a different Christmas song? I need to look into these lyrics. Yeah. Going to Ponyville. I don't know the South Park thing. I've never watched it. I haven't watched it. Maybe eventually. But what's going to happen is some reading today. Because no one can stop me. Mwahahaha. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man. I to get a job while you're in town. Yeah, that's a different song. When we drink by the fire. Oh, that's Winter Wonderland. I have two. I have two songs I could do. Winter Wonderland or Sleigh Ride. Desk, fire up the memes. We got new things to discover. Gosh, I've been running on empty for like the last few years, and now I have something. Let's go. And maybe this year I could even hire I could even do a thing with the person that does all the great art. Do you know the one? Ty. Yeah, I could get Ty. I would have to try and get him before the holiday rush sets in, though. So hopefully we can figure out what to do. Did I ever tell y'all the story behind the first Idols for the first Idol song? It happened to me in a fever dream of like I was in the back washing dishes at Domino's. It was closing shift, so we were just closing up for the day. And I'm like, you know what? I want to do this thing. And so I contact desk, and I was like, yeah, I'll help you out with this. I'm like, sweet, great. And then I then I contact Ty, see if he's on board. I was like, yeah, that's fine. This is like 2 weeks before Christmas. This was the most last minute. It was the most last minute thrown together thing that you could possibly imagine, and it was so funny because it all just kind of magically came together. I was editing that the Christmas day before I had to go over to my family's house. Like, it was the most last minute thing I could have possibly thrown together. And I loved every second of it. And you know what, Karma? I hope so too. He's been a lot more busy. One thing I do want to try eventually, if I ever have enough funds to do it, is to just commission him for chapter artwork like he used to do. And just have him, and I'll just be like, hey, go crazy. Do whatever you would have done for the chapter art on this chapter, and I'll pay you whatever you would have charged me for it. So he kind of gets paid to do fan art. It's already yet another tradition you started and left to rot. Hey, what was the first one? I still do streams every New Year's, and I still edit sometimes. I still release chapters. What haven't I what have I left to rot other than other than the carols? Oh boy, I can't wait for more respite. I mean, that's not a tradition if I've only released one. Thing is that's why the nomenclature around festivals and whatnot is the first one's not called the first annual. It's called the inaugural. So we can't have a tradition based on one. Gosh, I need to find out all my voices I did for that series again. Or maybe just re-record it from the beginning. Oh. Speaking of from the beginning, it's only a war crime if you've done it the first time. Exactly. Thank you, Canada. So I have a conundrum here. I do have a conundrum for this chapter and a few future chapters as well. I am currently out of sync with the chapter list, and it's due for one simple reason. I think that electrician says it's only a war crime the first. It's not a war crime the first time. I thought I put you in airplane mode. Anyways, I have a conundrum for the chapterization of this audiobook. If I ever release it on like an audiobook platform or whatnot, I'll definitely fix it then. Because currently we are on chapter 55, I believe, at least according to my rating scale. It's 56 on V's rating, V's chapter scale. And that's a problem. Because we're currently one chapter out of sync. As soon as the next vignette comes, we'll be 2 chapters out of sync if I continue on down this path. And then if I keep going, chapter 62 will happen at like chapter 60. And No Pony Impersonates Celestia Ever is going to be like chapter 66 rather than, or it's going to be chapter 67 rather than 69. And I'm like, and I'm not sure how to honestly get back on track. Because in my mind, as of right now, the only way to get back on track is to just say, hey, nope, this is chapter 56, and just keep on going. Just keep on going from there. And so, but you might have people being like, oh, where's chapter 55? There is none. So that's one way I could do it. Or just keep going with what I've been doing, and all the chapters are suddenly out of order. I'll actually be reading chapter 60, chapter 62. Like that would be how it's read out. And I don't want to do that. So, and like, it's something that I've known has been an issue for a little bit, and I've been ignoring it, naturally. So, but yeah, how would y'all propose I do this thing? How do I catch back up? Do I catch back up? Or do I just continue on? Actually, no. Chapter 62 would happen on chapter 61. My apologies. Because the next vignette isn't until Sir Sus. Because this also, like, applies to, like, even if there was, like, a physical publishing of this. If it's chapter based, am I going to have chapter whatever, vignette 1, and then the name of the vignette? No, I'd probably just have it be vignette. But V's already has his chapter placements down, and I can't ask him to do something like that. Where is everyone? I am very curious on your questions, comments, and concerns. Well, I'll just record both versions, I guess, and I'll guess I'll just choose whatever I'll choose in the recording booth. Just skip the chapter number as a joke to reach the magical number. Ooh, that's it. Yeah. Or at least to reach the... what is it called? Enough. What is it? Oh, because we're about to hit chapter 62. We are very close to chapter 62. Do I just skip chapter 61 and just go directly to chapter 62 as like a semi-time skip? Welcome, UK Bacon. Welcome to the stream where reading sometimes happens, maybe possibly. It's a rare sight, but it's a welcome one. Also today we have a either a bat pony or a changeling. It's in my ceiling, and it's going to be it's chirping incessantly. If you hear them in the background, no worries. I'm not on. We're not on fire. They're just hungry for something. Possibly. They haven't told me what. They're just hanging out there. So if you hear chirping in the background, it's fine. We're all fine here. Gosh, don't mention it and leave people wondering. That just reminds me of the meme of releasing 3 pigs labeled 1, 2, and 4. And telling people to catch them. But I think I've delayed enough. We're just going to have the chapter where Idle is zoinked. We're just going to have that be the chapter skip then. So that way we can catch up at the same time. And I'm going to run into this problem again with Cersis's vignette. I guess I'll call it a chapter then. Fine, I guess. Chapter 56. Oh, that's the wrong one. Chapter 55. Out of her shell. I also want to do it just because it makes remembering what my chapter numbers are a lot easier. It makes them so much easier. Yeah, exactly. It makes it seem like his memories were scrambled and picked up near he figured things should be. I mean, yeah, like, exactly. He spent, like, what, a couple of days? a week before everything went down? In that scrambled state, so it's a grand old time. Topaz was less than pleased about the events of the previous day, even before I had the chance to explain. Topaz was less than I heard the beep. Took a nice vacation with the loved one. Oh, I've seen things about Delirium. I need to check it out because it looks interesting. I haven't watched anyone play it though. So I guess I'll be giving like Lost Narrator a watch because theirs is the only video that I've seen on it so far. And I, for one, don't tend to watch video games. I don't tend to play video games. I just watch other people play video games. There are a rare few times that I don't do this, but I might try. I might actually try this one out. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun either way. Topaz was less than pleased about the events of the previous day. Even before I had the chance to explain, Idle, you can't just give away foals to random mares. Not one to be easily distracted, I nodded and continued hanging my helmet on its peg near the door. I was not aware I had given any mares a single foal, let alone multiple. Gotta cut it short today. I'll catch the replay later, and good luck. All right, will do, Karma. You have fun with everything happening over there, and all your coursework. Hope you survive. Bop. I. Oh, okay, that sounds even worse when you phrase it like that. But Idle. Oh, okay, that sounds even worse when you phrase it like that. But Idle, dang it, it's still a valid point. What were you thinking? You barely knew her in the first place. She shows up every few months for some fresh love. Oh gosh, I'm clipping. That's not good. Well, why are you so high? Gosh, you're higher than you usually are. I'm gonna have to record everything from the beginning. No, my work. I did so well today. Chapter 55. Out of her shell. Topaz was less than pleased about the events of the previous day, even before I had the chance to explain. Idle, you can't just give foals away to random mares. Idle, you can't just give away Idle, you can't just give foals away to random. There's more beeping. Beep. Beep. Idle, you can't just give away foals to random mares. Not one to be easily distracted, I nodded and continued hanging my helmet on its peg near the door. Not one to be easily distracted, I nodded and continued hanging my helmet on its peg near the door. I was not aware I had given any mares a single foal, let alone multiple. Okay, that sounds even worse when you phrase it like that, but Idle, dang it, it's still a valid point. What were you thinking? You barely knew her in the first place. She shows up every few months for some fresh love. I begin to think you're... Beep! Gosh, are we going to just have a beep counter in chat now? If you can even hear it, it's very obvious for me, but I don't know if y'all can hear it. I can... I begin to think you're making this sound more lurid on purpose now. You can't? Oh, gotcha. Man, hopefully the mic's not picking up at all, because I definitely am. Maybe I am. Hush. Hush. Maybe I am. Hush. And just decide... Maybe I am. Hush. And you just decide, hey, this fool I've been looking out for has specific needs that might be able to do well with this person I barely know or trust? Oh, I need to... Oh, let's see if this... Or at least I can't. Oh. Oh, that's good. That's very good to hear. How's it going, by the way? Welcome to the stream. It's been a bit, and we're going to have lots of things to talk about probably. Maybe I am. Hush. And you just decide, hey, this fool I've been looking out for and has specific needs might be able to do well with this person I barely know or trust? It did make sense at the time. And does it now? No, not as such, I admitted, shifting uncomfortably under her steely gaze. She is troubled. It's like there should be a whole system around vetting individuals seeking to care for children, isn't it? It is, actually. Some pony should look into that. I love rereading these chapters. It's always so much fun. She stomped a hoof. I endeavored to avoid her eyes, but it is difficult for a changeling to not know they are being glared at, particularly when the glarer explicitly. She stomped a hoof. I endeavor to avoid her eyes, but it is difficult for a changeling to not know they are being glared at, particularly when the glarer explicitly wants you to be aware of it. It's called adoption, Idol. There's a whole Hold on, did the beep show up? Ah! Oh gosh, it barely missed. Oh, thank goodness. I have to redo it anyway. It's called adoption, Idol. There's a whole field of study and bureaucracy around it. You know that. You've read books to the children at the orphan. It's called adoption, Idol. There's a whole field of study and bureaucracy about it. You know. Around it, not about it. It's called adoption, Idol. There's a whole field of study and bureaucracy around it. You know that. You've read books to the children at the orphanage. Oh gosh, what was that? You've read books to the children at an orphanage. I. But. I. But that. I. But that is for foals without parents or caretakers. I. But that is for foals without parents or caretakers. This is different. A small sigh. It's not, Idol. Not really. Sometimes the foal's caretakers realize they aren't cut out for the job, or they don't want it, or they're afraid they'll fail something important. Honestly, you can be stunningly oblivious to anything that isn't related directly to you. You know that? Welcome, Warlord! It's been a while. Come and join the fun as I deal with the beep. The beep of 87. Honestly, you can be stunningly oblivious to anything that isn't directly related to you. You know that? I tried to defend myself, though truthfully my heart was not in it. I was not even sure I was doing a passable job, but the nurse. That may be true, your pardon, it is true, but the nurse was not ill-suited for the job. Nymph was not ready to... Nymph was not yet ready. Nymph was not... Nymph was not yet ready to assume her duties to the hive, and the nurse brought her to you, against your will, and told you to do it. Pretty sure you can't skirt this one, Buggo. I did not pout. That seems unfair, both the situation and the... I did not pout. That seems unfair, both the situation and the accusation. Accusation. I did not pout. I did not pout. That seems unfair, both the situation and the accusation. I would never. Yeah, well, that's life. And I guess you were... Yeah, well, that's life. And I guessed you were trying to do the right thing in the way that you do. Yeah, well, that's life. And I guessed you were trying to do the right thing in that way you do. So figuring out what next instead of why is the big issue. What are we going to do about her? Topaz adjusted her glasses so she could glare over them while still seeing me, and I noted her bun looked exceptionally... And I noted her bun looked exceptionally tight. Never a good sign. How are you so well informed on the topic already? I was still trying to decide how to tell you about it in the first place. Thimp showed up and told me. I tried not to flinch, but Topaz was clearly displeased. Ah, that is not what I told her to do. Not the correct answer, clearly. Another sigh escaped the Golden Pegasus, but this one was a bit more fond. Children will be willful. Yep, he couldn't help himself from noticing Topaz's tight bun. it certainly it certainly either got super tight or super frazzled, depending on the type of day. Children can be willful. I think you were... Chil- Children can be willful. I think you were kind of... Children can be willful. I kind of think you were spoiled by Twilight being nearly perfect when it came to not being a troublemaker. It does seem she has saved being troublesome for her adulthood. It does seem like she has... It does seem like she's being... It does seem like she saved being troublesome for her adulthood. The professor snickered. Heard about some sort of harem spell gone awry. Definitely let her hair down, didn't she? Heard about some sort of harem spell gone awry. Definitely let her hair down, didn't she? It was very much not that, thank you. I had my own idea of such spells. And I did not approve of the adjusting of minds. Why is that such a tongue twister for me? Gosh, it's already an hour in and we're already 4 minutes into the chapter. Gosh, this is going quick. Although it doesn't help that the beeping continues. The chirping. I cannot escape it. I wonder if I duct tape a pillow to the ceiling, it'll stop the beeping. Random thought. I imagine if there was a fanfiction about MLP version of Metal Gear Solid where the story is the same but changed in a way to fit the setting in Equestria. I think that probably already exists. I'm not sure. I've never played any of the Metal Gear games. Well, if it's just like about a spy, uh, uh, about all these things happening in Equestria, It definitely would be an interesting story to read, especially those like me that don't have any experience with the series other than, the memes of Snake, Snake, Snake from Moonbase Alpha, and just all the other ways to do it. Uh, it could be interesting. I could definitely see something along those lines. Uh, Gosh, could you imagine that like Senator Armstrong's just like a changeling or something? And instead of being like nanomachines, son, it'll just be that's kiting for you, son. There's lots of fun ways that you could spin the world of Equestria, and I've read a lot of them. I haven't read like crossovers like that in ages. I think the last one I read was oh, I can't remember. Gosh, I it's been so long. I used to read them all the time, but I mostly read like the Displaced universe. What Ocelot would be? Gosh, it would have to be an Earth pony or a Griffin. It'd have to be someone basically with no, actually no. See, Ocelot's either a Griffin or Pegasus, and they're spinning the revolvers on their wingtips. That uh, either wingtips or talons. Ha- Ocelot's obviously a Catman from the movie. How is this a question? Oh, that's fair. There is a Aberranians. No, Abyssinians. That's what it is. Yeah, yeah. No, Ocelot would be an Abyssinian. That you got me there. Although I kind at at, at the same time, I kind of wish and kind of don't, kind of do and kind of don't like that they never showed up in the show beyond the movie, as far as I'm aware. Like we had the hippogriff show up, but we never saw any of the other interesting creatures that were in the movie. I don't even think they talk about the other beings in the movie after uh, for the rest of the show, unless I'm mistaken. I mean, I haven't really watched the show religiously. Mystic gear? Yes. You just have to figure out an equestrian version of a secret walking tank, nuclear missiles, the American version of military industrial complex, and about a century of Kojima made up history. Well, Equestria kind of just stands in for the American industrial complex. uh, but let's see, who would secret walking tank though? That would be a tricky one. Unless we just want to have the classic Changeling Empire and their mechs are just larger versions of Lings. Nukes, we got that figured out. We either have Bellfire bombs or Mega Spells. And Solid Snake and Big Boss. Hmm. Solid Snake and Big Boss. That ah, would they be ponies or would they be a different species? That is the question. Gosh, what if they're like crystal ponies? I don't know why, but I kind of want them to be crystal ponies. There's like absolutely no reason for them to be crystal ponies, but I don't know why I like the idea of them being crystal ponies so much. There's lots of easy ways to change regular names into horse names. Like, me and a group of friends are actually thinking of possibly putting together a convention space because one of my friends has lots of experience uh in like the convention hierarchy. What would the sons of the boss be? Ooh, literally that instead of sons. Sons. Gosh, we're bringing the entire sun into this now. Uh, but yeah, we can't really use uh, for the convention. We can't really use the obvious names because they were previously used by another convention that's now defunct. Rest in peace. So we're trying to find out new horse names for the mascots and whatnot. The Faustian children. Ooh, that's interesting. Gosh, no, we it's Opaline. Opaline of would be one of the sons. Opaline and Celestia, because why not have the Alicorn of Fire and the Alicorn of the Sun be very literal to the sons of the big boss? I wish G5 got more love than it did because it had a very interesting concept. It was just kind of strangled by upper management. And while I was like at Everfree, I learned like a lot of the behind the scenes thing that was going to happen. And the only reason it didn't happen was a new CEO took over and decided to gut everything that was going, all the plans that the previous CEO made. And so now everything is just kind of up in the air. Oof. But yeah, okay. So the Faustian children. Is it Faustian or Faustian? I've heard it both ways, but I'm not sure which way is like the more correct pronunciation, or is it kind of like a pronunciation of depending on where in the world you live, kind of like doer and dower. I don't know why it's doer in certain parts. Faust. Faust. The Faust. Faust. The Faustian children. Bring forth the Faustian children. Ooh. Let's see. Oh, could we get like the Yeti creatures in on this somehow? I don't know where, because I've never played any of the Metal Gear games. But just having the Yetis appear there. Oh, who would be that one chick that the one that can like quiet? Who would be quiet? What manner of being would no, quiet would have to be a crystal pony. Quiet's the one that has to be a crystal pony cuz because of sunlight and shit. Welcome back, Farfella. What's happening? We're discussing what all the different people and scenarios be if uh, if Metal Gear Solid took place in Equestria instead. And Equestria was kind of it's like a big old crossover event rather than people uh, from Metal Gear was plopped into it. What if it was written in the same style as Equestria? We already kind of decided uh, that Senator Armstrong would be a changeling, that Ocelot would be an Abyssinian. Uh, Gosh, we have to find out new creatures for Big Boss and Snake, because now I have no idea. I've also never played Metal Gear Solid, so I'm only pulling like things that I've heard or know throughout internet just from the local zeitgeist, and I'm just like putting some pieces together, and hopefully someone else can figure out the rest. Oh, and Quiet would have to be a crystal pony because her whole gimmick is she doesn't need to eat because she can photosynthesize the sun or something. Honestly, I was like, wait, what? She could photosynthesize? Why? Why would anyone ever do that? But it is a Japanese game, and they have definitely gone stranger in their concepts. So, a griffin? Ooh, griffin being a snake, being Solid Snake. That would be interesting. Because as we kind of seen in the show, each griffin has like kind of its own unique makeup of both burb and feline. So Big Boss and Solid Snake having the same like kind of build would kind of almost make it fairly obvious the twist. But or no, it would foreshadow the twist. I could definitely see Griffin being a good snake. I mean, there's so many creatures to choose from. Or oh gosh, would Armstrong be a buffalo instead of a changeling? I'm not sure. I like. I mean, if we can continue on with the nano machine son stick and have him be a buffalo on the other, and being a big strong brute that Armstrong appears to be in game. I don't know. Never played the game. It might it might make it work. So I'm kind of torn on that between Changeling and Buffalo. I forgot. I'm supposed to be reading. Hold on. Hold the phone. You're distracting me again. Ah, good job. Gosh, would Pegasus? No, there's sunny days. I mean, like, is it a situation where Pegasi have like locked the sky or something? Because it always seems to be raining in Metal Gear. At least from the few cutscenes that I've seen. Oh man, who would be the the person that's like in charge of like talking to him, like his handler? I don't know why, but I'm thinking of a changeling for her as well. Or I might just be misthinking the wrong game. Actually, no, 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 no. He does have a handler slash tech jockey, the girl in the chair. And the only reason I know anything about that is from Death Battle of him versus the other spy guy. I can't remember his name. Huh. Any hoozles. You don't even need to change all the names too much for them to be horse-like, because they already use like such weird things as names like Quiet, Big Boss, Solid Snake. What? Why? Oh, who would be Psycho Mantis? Would Psycho Mantis be a change? How many changelings? How many changelings can we fit into Metal Gear Solid? No, Psycho Mantis would have to be a misnomer. Would Psycho Mantis be like an Earth pony? May No, they would have to be an Earth pony. It would have to be almost like Pinky because they can like sense your moves before you can. That's my thing. Psycho Mantis, Earth pony. Psycho Mantis is a pony raised by changelings. There we go. Now we can fit the changeling direction into it. Oh gosh, it's 6 degrees of changeling. Yeah, I don't know about that either, Farfella. I am just as confused as you are, and honestly, I am both shocked by what I'm reading and not surprised at all because I know the culture it's good for. Psycho Mantis was an attempt to farm pony emotions. Yeah, yeah, let's go. And it just gave them psychic powers instead. Is it confirmed like it's psycho powers, or is it just that they break the fourth wall? Did they take tutelage under Pinky? God, Celestia, help us if they did. It's because Snake was disguised like the guy's gay lover. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that context makes it more interesting. Also, interesting that they put that in a video game meant for. I guess it is rated M, so that's fine then. And they had a very toxic relationship. He knows Snake isn't his boyfriend because his balls are wrong. What a sentence. What a sentence to read on a Sunday afternoon. Gosh. Is there. I mean, I guess this is coming from the same game series uh, with cloning. There's like 3 degrees of clones, if I'm remembering right. There's also like people photosynthesizing sunlight. The meat is right, but there's not enough veg. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That quote, if that sounds like a direct quote from the game, but oh my gosh, that's so funny. I assume it would be much the same, but bona fide instead. Who would be the old sniper? Who would be the super old sniper dude? The one that dies if you set your game time ahead a few weeks. But he's like apparently the greatest sniper in the world. That's not the real. That's not a real quote. Miss Main is the ultimate sniper. Yes, the end. Oh, that's what his name is. Hold on. Uh, I imagine the end would be a griffin. That's what you were talking about. I didn't understand. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's great. I didn't realize that that old sniper dude was called the End. So now your comment earlier about I think the End would be a griffin makes a whole lot more sense. Also, is Mistmane like the oldest pony that we've seen uh, in MLP? Like excluding the princesses? Because she be old. Also, how the hell did she get her mane to do that? To quote Crinky Doodle. Also, I don't think it could be Mistmane. As much as I would love it to be Mistmane, it would have to be a different creature because her mane is too wavy and flowy. It would give her away. Oh, speaking of giving things away, I am currently in cahoots with a bunch of friendos, and we are doing a podcast. It is not out yet, but once it is out, I will let you all know. It's going to be called the Chimera Cast, and we're going to have a grand old time listening to it. Shh. It's just where we talk about random bullshit about about cartoons, about various cartoons. We've already done an episode on Flapjack and Has Been Hotel, and we haven't decided what episode 3 is going to be. But it's going to be a fun time, and this is a sneak peek for anyone that's on the server, that's online right now. Shh, VOD people, ignore that you listen to this. But yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, this is the only thing you get. Okay, bye. Gosh, I just looked over and I saw a word I don't know how to pronounce. Anathema? Anathemia? Anathema. Anathema. Come on, Google. Equi needs to figure out how to. Come on. What's the pronunciation? Give me the pronunciation. Merriam-Webster, don't let me down. Anathema? 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 That's how you pronounce it? Anathema? Thank you, I guess, Merriam-Webster. Anathema. I would have never guessed. Honestly. Anathema. Ooh, that almost feels wrong to say it, but I can't argue with the literal dictionary. I had my own ideas of such spells, and I did not approve of the adjusting of minds in such a manner. It was one thing to coax and tweak emotions, I could not fault any changeling for such a thing, but to force them where none existed was anathema. It was both false and unsubtle. I know, it's just fun to tease you. You really do need to talk to Nymph about this, though. Topaz pulled a faith. Pulled a face. Topaz pulled a faith. God, no, not a faith card. You activated my faith card. Topaz pulled a face. And we need to give her a better name than the Nymph. Topaz pulled a face. And we need to give her a better name than Nymph, or the Nymph for that matter. It's a little too on the nose. I already have a name. Gosh, Gosh, Nymph, where's your name? They smell like hay fries. Oh, there we go. There's Nymph. I smell like hay fries. That is going to be my activation phrase for the Nymph from now on. I already have a name, Nymph stated proudly, standing on her rear legs. I already have a name, Nymph stated proudly, standing on her rear legs to push a box onto the table. Topaz looked flustered and her eyes flitted around the room, obviously trying to determine where the little changeling had come from. Under the couch, I decided, though I opted to leave the nymph's new hiding place undisclosed. At least, I hoped it was a hiding place and not a new tunnel dug underneath the furniture. Ah! Dug underneath the furniture. Children of all species tend to have questionable ideas about structural integrity. One merely needs to see a griffin's first nest to see the truth of that. Other than Red Shock, other than Idle, come back here. Other than Red Shock, I stated automatically. Naming yourself after a color you have trouble with. Other than Red Shock, I stated Other than Red Shock, I stated automatically. Naming yourself after a color you have trouble with is only bound to cause additional strife. No, not that one. When I went out. No, not that one. When I went outside the hive, I was supposed to start calling myself Circus. I blinked. Pardon? Pincers. Pincers, like on an earwig, Topaz informed me. Or the feelers on the backside of a silverfish. Or the last segment on something like a grasshopper where there isn't anything else. No, I actually knew that from previous discussions. I do pay attention, I will have you know. No, I actually knew that from previous discussions. I do pay attention, I will have you know. But, Nymph, you have a name? Well, yeah, I was going to gather love. She blinked up at me. So I was going to get a name. How else are we supposed to talk to each other without going, "Who here is a changeling?" I stared. And how does that work? She pouted. Adults are supposed to know this. I say something about a I say something about a Circus, like I have something with an earwig pincers on it, and I talk about Circuses. Circi? Whatever. I talk about them, and I seem a little weird, but if someone brings up that you could almost make out the carapace on the. But if someone brings up that you can almost make out the carapace on an earwig, then bam! That's probably another drone named Carapace. Get it? The infiltrator in training threw her hooves in the air, sending little green sparkles flying. Please do not set the rug on fire. This is the first I've heard of such a thing. Please do not set that rug on fire. This is the first I've heard of such a thing. Well, you aren't an infiltrator, duh. Her hooves went over her mouth. I don't think I was supposed to tell anyone that. I mean, that's a secret, isn't it? Ah, crickets. I do not. That is to say. Topaz saved me from potentially being forced to lie to a child. You probably shouldn't tell other ponies, but I'm helping you and I'll stay out of trouble and hidden. I sorta need to know the thing so I can. Her face fell. Oh my Faust! Oh my Faust, I've talked to. Oh my Faust, I've had a half dozen. Oh my Faust, I've had a half dozen random ponies make absolutely inane comments about insects. One of them even pointed out the imago. Hold on, is that how you say this? How to pronounce various insect terms with equi? Imago or imago? I'm gonna go with imago. Imago. This should be Faust? Faust? Faust. Faust? Well, I kind like the thing is that like when people be like Faust or Faust, it's a kind of especially in Faust. Yeah, because I was like it's especially in pony language, it's just meant to just represent Lauren Faust. Although if we're talking about like the literary character from history, I th- I think it's like Faust or something. Oh, I'm used to. I think I'm used to people mispronouncing her name as Faust, as Faust. Oh, I love hearing that. Okay, so would you like me to pronounce this? Imago or Imago? I guess it doesn't really matter, just because the dictionary says I could do both. Oh my Faust, I've had a half dozen random ponies make absolutely inane comments about insects. God damn it, that changeling slash bat on my ceiling that keeps making random beep sounds, ruining this take. Ah. Oh my Faust, I've had a half dozen random ponies make absolutely inane comments about insects. One of them even pointed out the imago on a dragonfly nymph, and that was just so stupid. Ugh. Well, that went into like several other characters. Oh my Faust, I've had a half dozen random ponies make absolutely inane comments about insects. One of them even pointed out the imago on a dragonfly nymph, and that was just so stupid I think I might have insulted her to her face. God damn, that beep came back! No! Let me finish! Let me finish a take, please! uh, and that was just so stupid I think I might have And that was just so stupid, I think I might have insulted her to her face. Are you telling me that was a changeling from your hive? That. Topaz random cursing. And that was just so stupid. I think I might have insulted her to her face. That was that was Topaz any longer. Idle. There we go. Here we go. Here's Topaz. And that was so stupid. I think I might have insulted her to her face. Are you telling me that was a changeling from your hive that thought I was one of them? There we go. Probably. We had a list of words and stuff we were supposed to memorize, and that's an adult insect? I could have had God damn it. I could have had so much information. Years of additional data. Topaz was slumping to the ground, slowly crushed by the weight of realization. So many research subjects dangling in front of my eyes. To be fair, Topaz would leave a smoke detector beep. Shush, it's a bat or a changeling on my ceiling going beep. I wasn't talking to you. It's been going on for over a day now. Random thought: in a battle, who would win, the main six, or the sons of the boss from Metal Gear Solid? P.S. I did not mean I did mean sons, not sons. Since I've never played the game, I have no idea, but I guess the magic of friendship will prevail in all situations. Also, Twilight is a powerhouse. Pinky can tell the future. Rainbow Dash can just break the sound barrier and do a move that's so awesome that it can't be shown on screen. So I imagine that it's kind of a lost cause for anything that's not on their same pedestal arcanally, which is kind of why, even though I still disagree with it, in Death Battle, Twilight did lose to Raven, but Pinky did win against Starscream, and then Pinky and Deadpool tied. Not saying that their word is God, but I'm saying that as supportive argument. The Sorrow can make Ghost battle for him. I don't know who the Sorrow is, but oh, they never had to deal with ghost ponies before, did they? I'm certain that like Twilight has a random spell in her repertoire that will just like banish ghosts. Cause like Twilight's magic is kind of like Batman's utility belt. She always has the exact spell that's needed for whatever occasion that she has. Depending on the needs of the plot, Rainbow can fly anywhere between Mach 1 and a reasonable percentage of the speed of light. Yeah, you can't really beat that, can you? And basically having the entirety of the sky against you, because Rainbow can just bring in storm clouds and whatnot and shoot lightning from them. Yeah, that's just one of them. Fluttershy can sick all the animals of the animal kingdom on you just because they want to protect her, not because she's sicking them on you. She's too nice to sick them on you. They'll kill you for. They've only met her for a few seconds, but if anything happens to her, they're going to kill everyone in this room and then themselves. Or she'll therapy them to submission like she did in the movie. And then Pinky. You don't want to go against Pinky. No one should go against Pinky. The only one that can handle Pinky is another fourth wall. Is another reality shifter. Maybe her and Psycho Mantis could get along. Probably not, because he's a bit mean about things. But they would kind of cancel each other's powers out. Maybe find common ground. Not sure. So yeah, the sons of the boss, sons of boss, would most likely lose because we're dealing with magic. And not much can just beat straight magic. Oh, not to mention, if Applejack touches you, she could, like, shatter every bone in your body. Like, did you see how big the boulder was that she, like, shoved out of the way? She just has to lightly tap you, and then it's like One Punch Man. Thing is that, yes, the pain could probably make Bugs battle for him, but Fluttershy is Fluttershy. Like, she. And she also has the stare. We can't forget Fluttershy has the stare. She could just quell all these monsters at the exact same time just from pure uh, pure fear of disappointing her. uh, but those are I think that's my 2 cents. Honestly, I would have to play the game in order to get any of the references. But but honestly, it doesn't seem like too fair of a fight. Probably. Also, like their names just being one word, the sorrow, the pain. Is the end also part of these the suns? I swear that beeping's getting quicker. Is she gonna be okay? If she survives the despair of opportunity lost, she will be fine, I assured the little changeling. If you wish to help her, you could weigh yourself and let her know how much you have grown since the last time you stopped by. She likes weird things. She is a weird pony, but we like her for that. I frowned. I. Beep. Beep. I should start calling you Cersus then? I should start calling you Cersus then? I don't know. I don't think I'm supposed to use it yet. And I'm not really an infiltrator out gathering, so maybe not. I like it though. Perhaps a more. Perhaps a name more suited for a pony so we can talk to you and about you without arousing suspicion. Oh, I could be, Tourmaline. Ooh, I could be, Tourmaline. Got. Not. You can't beep while I'm beeping over here. Ooh, I could be, Tourmaline. Ooh, I could be, Tourmaline. Is that even how you pronounce that? Pronunciations with equi. Let me select it. Thank you. Tourmaline. There we go. I was going to be like, Tourmaline. 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 Okay. Okay, I can do Tourmaline. Ooh, I could be, Tourmaline. I peeked. Ooh, I could be, Tourmaline. Where do you get these words? Books. Daring Do talks a lot of... Books. Daring Do talks about finding a bunch of them. Books. Daring Do talks about finding a bunch of them. Fair enough. I suppose that would... Topaz snapped out of her reverie when she was no doubt cataloging every conversation with her peers for any who might have been a changeling. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Harmony, no, please. If my mother finds out there's a filly named after a mineral in my house, she's going to make assumptions. I will never live it down. And did she say crickets as an expletive? Expletive? Expletive. I know how to say that. And did she say crickets as an expletive? That's adorable. You never did that. No, I have not, I stated firmly, shaking a hoof dismissively. I assume it is a young changeling thing, but Nymph, if Topaz has qualms, I suggest you choose another. And did she say crickets as an expletive? That's adorable. You never did that. No, I have not, I stated firmly, shaking a hoof dismissively. I assume it is a young changeling thing, but Nymph, if Topaz has... No, I have not. No, I have not, I stated firmly, shaking a hoof dismissively. I assume it's a young changeling thing. But Nymph, if Topaz has qualms, I suggest you consider another name. She helped choose my own, after all, and this shape. She is very good at it. Beep! The nymph, Circe, looked at me with all cutting... The nymph, Circe, looked at me with all the cutting disbelief the young are capable of when they feel you are telling them a parable in lieu of the actual explanation they desire. Gosh, why is this sentence so tough? No, don't you begin again. No, you need to begin again. Don't you keep going off. The nymph, Circe, looked at me with all the cutting disbelief that the young... The nymph, Circe, looked at me with all the cutting disbelief the young are capable of when they feel you are telling them a parable in lieu of the actual... Oh gosh. When they feel you are telling them a parable in lieu of an... When they feel you are telling them a parable in lieu of the actual explanation they desired, but she did not vocally challenge my assessment. I like Torma. I like Torma. Though, how about Wyvern? She made a snarling sound. That was far too large for her diminutive frame and belched more green flame. Ponies do not have dragon names, cutie marks, or powers, and before you suggest that you could be a dragon, I do not possess the pay to make that believable. Can I at least be an alicorn? Order no, never do that. You're just no fun. There are a grand total of 3 of those, and every pony pays attention to them. One is slightly pink, the other is very pink, and the third ponies are still skittish around. God damn it. God damn that beep. Beep! And the third, people are still skittish around. Beyond that, impersonating royalty is a crime. That would make things more awkward between us. Yeah, I guess trying to trade me off like a sack of potatoes kind of does that. And how long are you... and how long is this going to hang over my head? She rubbed her chin, thinking it over carefully. How long can I milk it for? Fair point. I shall let you get away with it until I no longer do. Well, that doesn't seem fair. How am I supposed to use that? The changeling filly, attempting to leverage guilt on me for trying my best in a situation beyond my control, claims I am being unfair. Woe is truly me. Poof. How am I going to pronounce that? Oh gosh, why is it these things? Why? Why do you do this to me? Puff. Piff, 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 piff. How do I make a Snicker? And not the candy bar. Work. And not accidentally edit out when I'm doing the final pass. That is the question that we are at for today. Hold the puff sound. I know. The beeping sound makes me think of the sheep song that goes beep beep. I'm a sheep. Said beep beep. I'm a sheep. Beep beep dip 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 dip. So who would make a beep sound? Would it be a changeling or would it be a bat pony? I am very curious your thoughts. Because Thestrals could make the beep just from like an echolocation standpoint. It could go beep, beep. It would be more like a chirp. But changelings are also known for chirping. So what is on my ceiling currently? A changeling trying to mimic a bat pony? Or is there a bat pony trying to mimic a changeling? Ceilingling. Gosh. Let's see. Gosh. I don't know how to say this. Because it's kind of just a snort. Well, I can't really snort in a voice. You hold the puff sound. They can't mimic the sound, so they say the actual word like bam and pow. Bump. There we go. Is that plosive enough? Oh gosh, is that how I leave it? Or is it because it has really a snort, but it just kind of has to be a Oh my gosh, V, stop throwing $5 words at me. Please, I beg you. Loquacious. Loquacious? Ugh, that sounds awful. Truly a loquacious truly a loquacious agreement. If I may interrupt your pontificating, I would like to speak with Topaz alone. Yeah, I didn't care. Hear the beep. Let's go. Well, okay. Don't touch that box. Well, okay. Don't touch that box. I'm just putting it there until I get a cocoon made. I don't want to get it wet. Don't want it getting wet. Well, okay. Don't touch that box. I'm putting it up here until I get a cocoon made. I don't want it getting wet. With that, she went back into Topaz's basement. I, of course, immediately checked the contents, which only made my landlady sputter in outrage. Idle, she just told you! And I did not agree to those terms. Cards, several comics. Cards, several comics, a plush figure of Daring Do, a number of ribbons and gifts I can only assume she gotten from. Cards, several comics, a plush figure of Daring Do, a number of various ribbons and gifts I can only assume she has gotten. A number of various ribbons and gifts I can only assume she has gotten from her friends. I shook my head. It is not appropriate for a changeling to keep mementos of such things. Topaz firmly closed the box and pushed it away from my hooves. And? You keep mementos? And? Nothing. They are hers. Besides, I am not a very good changeling. I am an exile, hardly an individual to emulate in any case. I am not sure how a changeling is supposed to be raised, and I intend to defer to you on these matters. At Topaz's sputter... At Topaz's spluttering, I tilt my head. Is there an issue? Me? Why would you trust my judgment? My own proves questionable. My own proves questionable. I told Moth Chaser I am not a pony. She blinked. Then, with a slow groan, she put her face in both hooves. I thought you couldn't do that. Why would you do that? It seemed like a good idea at the time. I may have imbibed a beverage at Princess Luna's insistence that left me in an altered state of mind. Quite good, though, I think. Yep. Well, welcome back, Karma. It just keeps going. She stared at me from between her hooves over her glasses. He thinks... He thinks. I think the guard has an unhealthy fixation with drinking. You're killing me, Idol, so who should... You're killing me, Idol, so she knows you're a changeling? Not that much. Just go outside and grab a rock and practice your pitching. Thing is that the detector is not plugged in. No battery. It's not plugged into the ceiling. And it's under a pile of blankets in a closet. It on the other side of the apartment. It is not coming from the detector itself. It is coming from the wires from the ceiling. And I have no idea how to stop it. It just keeps going every few minutes. Welcome, Seth. Welcome, Seth. Funny enough, we were talking about Metal Gear Solid for a good chunk of today's stream. Glad you can make it. It keeps going. Get going, and it's gone. It's not gone. It's never gone. So near the end of last stream, I had an idea pop to mind. Someone idol somehow, some way gets to have a small chat with the goddess of Equestria herself, Faust, or Faust. So that could go one of a number of ways. If he's introduced, well, no, he'll probably know that she's. Shut up, Google. I was not talking to you. The jealousy chapter in progress. Oh, man. She finds him absolutely amusing. I imagine it would be a similar meeting that Idol had with Celestia. Him just being kind of overwhelmed by those sorts of things. I mean, he's had run-ins with gods and goddesses, but this is the goddess, so it's a bit more power creep, and it's kind of seen that he can see that power creep as well. You'll be taking up his mantle of story writing, right? Yep, sounds like it. Again, I haven't seen Metal Gear Solid, so I have no idea what Idol would think of him. Maybe honorable. I don't know. I haven't even seen all the cutscenes from the games. I'm more of a reader than a writer, myself included. Which is why I read audio, why I make audiobooks and format publications, and I do not do any of the actual writing. I'm. Oh gosh, how. Oh, I am going to read until this horizontal rule, and then we shall end stream there. Because it is that time of the season. Beep! Beep! It keeps happening. Beep! Not that much. Not that much. Not that much. Not that much, I admitted. There do seem to be certain compulsions against revealing myself outside of specific conditions. I perhaps could have told her, but that I am not ready for. Maybe Idol meeting Faust, it could be an urban legend and how to pony. Oh, that'd be. That'd be funny. In one of the Metal Gear games, you can piss off the save game person by killing off the seagulls. Oh, that's funny. He's never met. He's never met Faust. He's never met Faust. How do you know? He's done everything. Gosh, I need to catch up on the How to Pony series and Corporal Hooves and practically anything else that has to do with reading. I also have to get. I also have to do Ponytober. I want to do all these things. I yet have to accomplish none of these, but I will eventually. You can explain yourself, but not intentionally reveal yourself. But you can reveal that you aren't a pony so long as you don't say you are a changeling, unless the person already seems to have a general idea of what you are. That seems complex, but accurate. Perhaps a compulsion to prevent directly revealing ourselves to other infiltrators? That would be a dumb way to get caught, I guess. Honestly, it seems a lot of these orders are about basic things. Don't get caught, don't go to the North Pole, don't go to the north and freeze, which makes you get caught, don't do this, don't let the beeping control your life. But, you know, we already failed in the beeping controlling your life. Honestly, it seems... Idle... There we go. Idle. There we go. Topaz, get back in the recording booth. Honestly, it seems like a lot of these orders are about basic things. Don't get caught, don't go to the north and freeze to death, which would probably get you get caught. Get you get caught. Honestly, it seems like a lot of these orders are about basic things. Don't get caught, don't go to the north and freeze to death. Honestly, it seems like a lot of these orders are about basic things. Don't get caught, don't go to the north and freeze to death, which would probably get you caught. Don't have children, which... Your children would apparently be eggs, which would be weird, and you'd get caught. I wish you could be a fascinating... I wish you could be fascinating without raising my blood pressure. God damn it. I wish you could be fascinating without raising my blood pressure. Regardless, Moth Chaser? She showed up to my room. Oh? She had expectations. Oh. Topaz bit her lower lip. That must have been awkward. Did you at least let her down easy? I mean, she deserves that much for being... I mean, she deserves that much for not being, you know, an absolute mess after the whole thing with Discord. Flinching, I tried to explain, but I could not give her what she wanted, but I believe I was able to give her a sufficient massage in lieu of the other. The explanation came after. Celestia takes Cersus out for a nightmare night and both dress up in costumes. That would be adorable. Sounds like those bi-weekly streams will become clutch. But not that bi-weekly. If Hooves meets King Sombra for one reason or another... honestly, Idol would probably punch Sombra in the face. He already hates Sombra with a passion, both for his architecture and the things that he's done to other ponies. So yeah, definitely a swift buck to the face. And several more to ensure he does not get up. Yeah, and then he would probably wish to be incarcerated for attacking someone. Kind of like in that SpongeBob episode where no one is really upset that it happens. He just plays it too much in his mind because he feels like he lost control. What if you met the good King Sombra? Now, that is a question. I think he'd be somewhat suspicious of the entire time. The entire time of good King Sombra. And he'd be very confused, especially if he met the good Queen Chrysalis as well. he would... I bet he would not know what to do with himself. He didn't like the architecture at all. He thought it was too dreary. And other things. It happened in the most recent chapters. He's mostly just pissed off about everything with the pony, so he's just finding more things to dislike about the guy. What if an AU world where Idol was a guardling like Pharynx? He's kind of already a guardling. Like, I know he was an excavator and whatnot, But him being a guardling, I bet he'd be less likely to be exiled from the hive, just because there wasn't really a way for him to just like disobey orders and do things creatively. Because from what V's informed us, guardlings kind of just work off of rage, just pent up rage. Now, little one, you can just call me Mama. Idle hooves versus brutalism. Yep, pretty much. Um, Honestly, I feel like if he met the good chrysalis, she would be concerned for his health because um, I don't know if this is canon in the comics, but I was reading this one fan fiction called "My Life as a Bipedal Quadruped," and in one of the chapters they do meet good chrysalis and one of the changelings, and they explain like the form of the changelings on their world, and it's apparently something to do with actually taking love rather than being offered love, and that's like directly affecting how their form looks. Because I guess changelings in the in the alternative world, are kind of look like a halfway between skittlebugs and changelings, where they aren't multicolored, but they don't have holes in their legs either. Idol would never be able to cope with good chrysalis because now he's more ruthless than she is. You know what? That's fair. That is fair. Ha- Having him hugged by a good chrysalis would cause him to blue screen of death. I feel like, oh gosh, I feel like there would be a trauma response of some way, shape, or form. He might just blue screen because that's the more comedic thing to do. He just doesn't know what to do with himself, so his body's like, "Well, nope, you're just going to faint now. Bye." Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that idol could react to chrysalis, and it also depends on like the circumstances of their meeting. If he's specifically like, if he just happens to run into a good chrysalis, he would be immediately suspicious about everything, and he would also like not trust that she was actually a good chrysalis. If they purposefully like go and seek out chrysalis, he would be wary, but then he would probably blue screen of death if she just goes up and hugs him and be like, "Oh, thanks for bringing one of my little ones back to me," or something like that. He ends up in the real world from the comics and has to deal with seeing his favorite princesses as evil, and that Cersei loves their outfits a little too much. Idle.exe has encountered an error, needs to close. Why can't I be evil for a day, get the outfit, and leave? Like, it's easy just not being evil. You just only do it once, get the cool outfit, and then leave. It's easy. You gave a mare that was probably the best sensual rubdown of her life after inviting her into your room, told her you weren't a pony, and then sent her on her way? You gave a mare that was probably You gave a mare what was probably the best sensual rubdown of her life after inviting her into your room, told her you weren't going to beep anymore, You gave Amare what was probably the best sensual rubdown of her life after inviting her into your room, told her you weren't a pony, and then sent her on her way? That seems to be the way of it. I have done similar for you. The mare covered her strangely reddening face with one hoof, shook her head, and began marching away, apparently intent on checking on the nymph. You're a monster, Idol. What? What do you mean? Topaz? What is that supposed to mean? What? What? What do you mean? Topaz? What is that supposed to mean? She just Idol being clueless is always going to be my favorite part. I mean, you could always just get Rarity to. I mean, you could always just get Rarity to make you an outfit. He makes it sound so easy. Like I could just go reform myself in the very last moment before I get struck by the. And that idol is how I became reformed. And that idol is how I became reformed. The Rit versus Bill thing is a gag that I love. Oh, absolutely. It's so much fun. It is not a. We are not being charged for it. 'Tis a writ. But this Rit versus Bill shall have to wait until next time, because I'm already 15 minutes over. Woo! So when do you revert back to being evil? Magical Philly Cersus. That's the neat thing. You don't. Magical Philly Cersus. Honestly, I feel like Cersus would absolutely get into the magical girls. And she would probably have a blast with it. Ah. Especially if she gets, like, her friends involved as well. That'd be fun. Especially her love interest. Okay, we need a plush of Magical Philly Cersus. If Saul wants to do a rough draft of Magical Philly Cersus, I will make a Magical Philly Cersus. Because I am not at well referenced in the ways of magical girls in order to make a magical girl outfit. You would have to ask Desk. Or V. They are the magical girl experts in the server, as far as I'm aware. A super rare variant of the officer friendly line. You only get it in a blind bag. And Officer Friendly has no idea who the magical filly is. Oh, absolutely. Considered the first of its kind to send the entire line into a frenzy. Gosh, yep. That is how it's meant to be. Marketable plushes. Who can who who can have enough of marketable plushes? Gosh, one day I would love to make my own plush, but I do not have the technical skills at all, nor the time. But I would love to do so eventually. And ruin for the OG collectors. Ruin it. Oh no. Now the OG collectors would also love it. They're like, ooh, a new box for my collection. Gosh, the Magical Philly Cersus is up there in rarity with like first edition officer friendly plushes uh, where there was some sort of lining misplacement. So Idle accidentally has a, or no, where there was a main placement malfunction. So he has a mustache instead, only happened for the first dozen or so in the line, and most has been recalled except for a handful. They are the rarest of the rare. And I have one. It's right here. Oh, the edition of Officer Friendly didn't have the pull string. Oh, that would be fun. Ah, we could do so many things with Officer Friendly. But anyways, like I said, I have to get going. I have to be ready and gone in the next 10 minutes. So I will see y'all later. Y'all have a great weekend. And we will see ya in, let's see, probably, I'm going to try for next week, but it's most likely going to be a week after next. Anyways, I'll see you later. Have a good one.